Wow.
And
Well,
if you're funding this, we're coming after you. We're going to find out who you are.
Okay, yo. So President Donald Trump has vowed to make America safe again. But how can he make America safe if he himself isn't safe? So the first thing he's doing is stopping anybody else, any president himself or in the future from being the victims of a weaponized Department of Justice. It's this that simple. In the address he gave to Congress today, he outlined his strategy on how he will make America safe again by bringing law and order back to America. Now, that was a catchphrase coined by legendary presidents as far as Roosevelt, Nixon, even Ronald Reagan. There was a time when that phrase was used to mean like civil rights activists and protesters, but in this case, Trumpito is talking about criminal and crooked politicians and crooked law firms who weaponize agencies like the FBI, intelligence agencies like the FBI, and law enforcement agencies, and even anybody who sponsored any of this malarkey. Trumpito has assigned his U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. If you use the department in any kind of way, she is coming after you. My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Let's get right to it.
President Trump will be making an historic visit today to the Department of Justice for a speech laying out his vision for restoring law and order and ending the weaponization of the Department of Justice and our law enforcement agencies. Here's the president yesterday.
We have a great Justice Department. Pam Bondi is so fantastic. We don't want to have crime in the streets. We don't want to have people pushed into subways and killed, and then the person that did the pushing ends up in a 15-year trial and gets off scot-free. We want to have justice, and we want to have safety in our cities as well as our communities. And we'll be talking about immigration. We'll be talking about a lot of things. The complete gamut.
And joining me right now is the woman tasked with the job.
It is a scary time.
Attorney General Pam Bondi. AG, great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Maria. It's great to be with you.
And of course, you sat and testified under oath to the Senate Judiciary Committee, the same thing, that you would only follow the facts and the law. Tell us how you will de-weaponize the DOJ.
Yo, first off, it is a scary time for criminals or illegal immigrants or like crooked politicians or even somebody who's been taking advantage of their position of power because like it's about to go down.
Well, Maria, we've been doing it since day one, and we're going to continue to do that. President Trump's mission was very clear. His directive was make America safe again. That's what we're going to do. No more weaponization. We're going to go back to fighting basic crime, getting these cartels out of our country by securing our borders, prosecuting the worst of the worst, seizing the drugs, which is what President Trump has directed us to do since the second he's been in office, and lock up the violent criminals as long as we can behind bars or seek the death penalty. And that's what we've been doing. You know, we've signed death warrants. We've to seek the death penalty since he's been in office. It's not business as usual. We are going back to the basics, fighting violent crime. And taking these drugs off the street is the main component of keeping our kids safe.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, because people have been afraid to walk the streets, basically, because there's no accountability. You have to go to the drugstore and find your toothpaste locked up. Tell me how you're going to do it and what you can tell us about the president's speech today at the DOJ.
Yeah, you know, he has never been to the Department of Justice.
That's amazing.
That is crazy.
Right, and I can't wait for him to be there to show that he is going to make America safe, that he has been making America safe. Just since he's been in office, 2,000 kilos of fentanyl have been taken off the streets. It's crazy what he's done.
Yo, hold on. Did you know that Pam Bondi is in her late 50s? I tell you what, Trumpito has some gorgeous women in his staff, but she's not in here for her beauty. Let me remind you of her stats. She majored in criminal justice in college. She went on to get her doctors from Stetson University in Florida, and then she was the Attorney General in Florida from 2011 to 2019, and also she was the very first woman in that position. So she is really about her business. Let me let her tell you what what Trumpito just said.
1,000 kilos of methamphetamine. These are the things that are killing our kids from coast to coast, whether it's St. Louis to 170,000 pills of fentanyl in Utah. That's one life per pill.
That's crazy.
And he has been fighting drugs, fighting the cartels, and we are going to keep America safe. And, you know, the weaponization has ended. They are trying to weaponize against Elon Musk, and we are not going to let that happen either.
Well, that's
Facts.
right. And we saw all the vandalism to the Tesla cars this week. President Trump will reportedly invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which allows him to fast-track deportations of criminals that are illegal migrants. ICE also arrested more than 32,000 illegal migrants in the first 50 days of the president's second term, including those 14,000 convicted of crimes. AG, I want to get your take on how you're going to do this, because you're facing pushback, right? The sanctuary cities are saying, no, 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 no. We are sanctuary. We're going to continue sanctuary.
No, you're not.
Where is the accountability for some of these sanctuary cities that are working against you?
Yeah, well, you're seeing what's happening. We're suing them. We're suing the states. They will no longer be sanctuary cities. We will come in there. We will arrest you. We will prosecute you. We will deport you. If you've committed a crime, you will go to prison in our country for as long as possible. If you're an illegal alien, we will deport you. It's that simple. That's what's been happening. Our federal government is working great now. You know, these liberal mayors, governors, we're not going to put up with it. I've warned them. If they're not listening, they will continue. We will continue to sue them. We will continue to pull their federal funding until they comply with federal law.
You're gonna lose that funding.
Because our job is to make America safe again. And I don't know how, Maria, they can quarrel with that.
Well, I mean, you're sending messages out that, you know, there will be accountability. And I think everyone has to agree that you want accountability for people who are, you know, trafficking drugs and humans. So that's great. But we also have seen real weaponization against President Trump, against the Republicans over the last 10 years.
Facts.
I lived it, the Russia collusion story. Will anyone be held accountable for the Russia collusion lie that the Clinton campaign and the Democrats came up with against President Trump that ripped our country apart?
We're ending it. People will be held accountable who weaponized our government. You know, there were a lot of pardons out there, but there were a lot of people who were not pardoned. And if you targeted someone, if you went after someone because of their political affiliation, we will be investigating you. We will be looking at you, because that's the weaponization, and it has to stop. For instance, look what they're continuing to do, as I said, to Elon Musk. They are targeting Tesla dealerships, the stations where you charge a Tesla. They're vandalizing.
Right, and check it. You know, that's not us. That's not regular Americans. That's somebody sponsoring payment against Tesla and Musk. You know what I mean?
I have already directed an investigation be opened to see how is this being funded, who is behind this, doing this. We have people we're locking up on that. We have someone in jail right now from one of the dealerships. They threw a Molotov cocktail through a dealership. They're looking at up to 20 years in prison. So if you're going to touch a Tesla, go to a dealership, do anything, you better watch out, because we're coming after you.
Wow.
And if you're funding this, we're coming after you. We're going to find out who you are.
So,
I
mean, in terms of the Russia collusion story, is there any work on that? Are you going to try to find out who, in fact, pushed this lie that Trump colluded back in 2017?
Maria, we have teams of lawyers working nonstop on every issue you can imagine to end the weaponization. And what you're saying, that will put an end to the weaponization, all the lies, everything that's happened. It's over. It's a new day. We also want to move forward and fight violent crime.
Of course. And you also recently formed an internal DOJ team to work with DOJ on the cost-cutting measures. What can you tell us? Because they're going to dig into the nation's top law enforcement divisions, reviewing their internal budget reviews to find savings, right?
Yeah, the massive amounts of money that have been wasted. Truly, we know. I don't think any of us, Elon couldn't even dream how big the massive amounts of money were that's been taken from your tax dollars, from my tax dollars, and just squandered away to foreign countries all over the world, the USA, the EPA, and they're fighting us on that. They're trying to force us to pay this money out. We're not going to do it. We have teams of lawyers fighting to protect our tax dollars, and we're going to continue to do that. Of course, we're going to lose in these liberal district courts, but we will win in the Supreme Court. We will prevail. Donald Trump will control the budget. these agencies will control where their money goes. It was a setup from the beginning by all of these liberal agencies that when we came in here, all this money would still be flowing out. But they were caught. Now they've been exposed, and we will find all of them, and all of our great agencies who work so well together will protect Americans and Americans' tax dollars.
That
To
part.
the hard work of Elon and Doge.
And you also want the public to trust the FBI. I mean, this
Exactly.
is a leading law enforcement agency. We need everybody to trust the FBI. And
Exactly.
I'd like to see some accountability. Can you take us from a 30,000 feet look at what happened here? How did it
Yes.
become so political, AJ?
Maria, that in my wildest dreams, I never realized how bad it was.
Yeah.
But now that we have Kash Patel in there, and I'll tell you, in the Justice Department directly, it was totally weaponized. All the Jack Smith prosecutors are gone.
They're out of there.
All these agents at the FBI who are weaponizing government are gone.
That part.
That's where we're able to find the good men and women who want to be out there, who want to be fighting violent crime, who want to be keeping America safe, who
Simple.
want to be fighting terrorism. Last week, Director Radcliffe, Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and I, we got to be at Dulles Airport in the middle of the night and greet a plane coming in from Pakistan with one of the worst terrorists in the world on the plane. And we got to thank the great men and women of the FBI. And that's what people don't see. The ones who are out there, they had spent a week in Pakistan getting this guy out of there. These people are second to none. Those are the real agents, and that's what we want to do, restore their integrity, restore the integrity of the Department of Justice, and show all the great things that at the direction of Donald Trump we're going to do for the next 4 years to keep America safe and make America safe again.
AJ, on the sanctuary cities thing, I know you've got all of these lawsuits out for people who are obstructing justice, obstructing your efforts. Are you saying that by the end of this 4 years there will be no more sanctuary cities?
No way. No way. No more sanctuary cities. I wouldn't even say 4 years. I'd say give it to the end of the year. Sanctuary cities are over. There are no more sanctuary cities as far as the federal government's concerned. What a sanctuary city means is they are harboring criminals. They are harboring illegal aliens. And if you're tipping someone off when there is going to be an ICE raid, DHS raid, we will find you and we will prosecute you. That jeopardizes the lives of our great men and women in law enforcement. Not going to happen anymore. It's a new day, and we're coming after you.
That is incredible.
It's a new day, and
AJ.
we
All
are
right,
coming after you.
On something else, which a lot of people were emailing me about and talking to me about when they heard that you were coming on the show. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the Epstein files. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the January 6th investigation.
Yo, I don't really care about that January 6th. But straight up, Pam, what's up with these Epstein files? You know what I heard, YouTube? I heard that they were giving like high-profile participants a chance to pay to have their names scratched off of this paperwork. And I'm thinking maybe Gene, he been out of work for a minute. Maybe he didn't have enough money to pay the fee. I don't know.
Are you going to give us any more information on these two issues?
Sure. And first to the Epstein, I'm mad that I didn't have more information on Epstein. I was given 200 pages of documents. I've asked Director Patel. He came in after that, of course. I had asked for those documents prior to Kash coming in. Kash is going to get me all the information. I've asked him to find out why I didn't receive all those documents and he didn't receive all those documents. We've now found out, of course, that they were in New York. We've received truckload of documents of evidence, and Kash is going to give me a deadline on when he can go through that to protect, of course, the victims of sex trafficking who are wrapped into this. And he's going to give me a deadline on when he can get this, and we will get out as much as we can, as fast as we can, to the American people, because they deserve to know. Same with January 6th.
You heard it.
We're all working on JFK right now. We will be working on Martin Luther King. All of these things that the president promised, we will be doing. They can try to hide documents from us, but they can't. It might take a little longer. We will find them, and we will release them to the American people, because it's transparency.
Yo, I agree they need to take the politics out of the Department of Justice and just let them people fight violent crime and drugs. I mean, I have a long list of gripes against the Department of Justice. I'm just like Donald Trump. I really wish that things in that branch of government would change. They are comparing the gravity of these cases to Watergate. That's how big it is. And when they say end weaponization, they mean first, find examples where somebody weaponized the government, investigate those involved, and then prosecute those civil or criminal charges. And that goes for USAID employees too. So they're going to follow the money, they're going to follow these trails, and when they come up with some evidence, they're going to take you to trial and prosecute you. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? So anybody who was one of them bureaucrats who had been involved, you already know what time it is. Yo, what a time to be alive. Tell me what you think in the comments. My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show. Until next time, peace.